Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about forgiveness, which is a part of life. You are going to get to some point in your life where you have to forgive. It is literally a part of everyone's journey. And obviously, forgiveness is a choice. You don't have to forgive, but if you want to live a healthy life, you have to forgive. And so today I want to talk about that healing process and what that looks like, and also the misconception of forgiveness. And the reason why I am talking about this is because I had a misconception of forgiveness, and I thought that forgiveness was, I don't feel the anger anymore. I don't feel the pain anymore. I don't replay the situation that happened to me, the betrayal. And that is so not true. And I think the church has a big part to play in why people think they haven't forgiven when they have. And so what forgiveness truly is making a decision. You have made the decision to forgive this person, and you, in your mind, decide that you are going to let this go. And I also want you to know that just because you have forgiven, that does not mean reconciliation. Forgiveness does not equal reconciliation. We must use wisdom. You have to understand that some people have gone through traumatic situations where they maybe have been SA'd or raped. Some people's significant other have had affairs with a sibling or a best friend. And these are traumatic situations that can really damage and hurt an individual. And so once you see that a person is battling demons, or they have these character flaws that will probably likely repeat, you have to use wisdom and not put yourself back in a situation where you have to forgive again. And so you don't have to reconcile with people who have hurt you, especially when they've hurt you willfully. Now, there are situations where a person may hurt you and it's unintentional. And that is a situation where I feel like there is room for reconciliation. Of course, that's subjective, but there's room for reconciliation for me when there's just a misunderstanding. And so the misconception about forgiveness is that, oh, once you make it up in your mind to forgive, you shouldn't feel any type of resentment toward that person, anger, or even disdain for that person. And that's just simply not true. It's unrealistic. We are human beings, and you're going to feel pain from a loss. You go through a grieving process, and that does not mean you're a bad person. It does not mean that you have not forgiven. The Bible even says, be angry, but sin not. So that lets you know right there, there's a differentiation of negative feeling and sin. Feeling this negative feeling is human, and unforgiveness is a sin. And so you see, it's not the same thing. And so someone said this on Threads, and it just really resonated with me. They said, a good part of your healing process is doing nothing. You got to understand what that means. On the surface, it sounds like, dang, I'm not supposed to do anything. That means I'm not supposed to pray. I'm not supposed to journal. I'm not supposed to. No, that's not what that means. It means relinquishing the control of forgiveness. When you focus on something, you laser focus on it, it just makes it bigger. It amplifies. And so letting go and just allowing yourself to feel the pain of a betrayal and just something traumatic in your life, just relinquishing the control of getting rid of this feeling, getting rid of the emotions, getting rid of the anger, that is going to help you so much in your healing journey, because sitting with the pain, sitting with the anger, sitting with the resentment it's going to teach you a lesson. And a lot of times when we go through these situations, there is a part of it, not every situation, because I'm not talking about children being essayed or anything like that. But in some situations, there's a lesson to be learned in it. And you can gain wisdom from this situation, and feeling the pain of it and the weight of that can prevent you from putting yourself in those situations again. It could be you idolize someone. It could be you ignored the red flags. It could be that you were a people pleaser. And this is how the betrayal and you attracted this type of individual. So sitting with those emotions and sitting with that pain, it's going to be good for you. I know that sounds crazy, but it's going to be good for you. And some people are a little bit hard headed and they got to learn that lesson over and over again. They got to go around that mountain multiple times. I was one of those people, but you want to learn that lesson the first time, because each time you learn the lesson, it gets harder and harder and it gets more painful. But allowing yourself to feel the pain and not trying to force those negative feelings and emotions out is going to help you and speed your process of forgiveness up. So I confided in someone when I was going through a betrayal. And this is with a romantic partner who betrayed me. And I was so hurt. I was devastated. I was completely devastated that this person would do this to me. And they went behind my back and they pursued someone who was close to me. That's what happened. And gosh, it was so painful. I couldn't believe that he would do that to me after I've been such a good person to him, after I have just been so loving, so kind, so giving to him. And I remember sharing this with a brother in Christ, and I was telling him how hurt I was. And this is fresh out of the situation. So it was probably, I want to say 3 months. And I was telling him, I still feel so hurt by this. This still pains me. And he was like, that's because you haven't forgiven. And so I was like, so me feeling anger and feeling hurt, that means I haven't forgiven? And he was like, yeah, because if you forgave him, you wouldn't even think about it anymore. And I was like, what? So I was like, dang. So then I started being hard on myself. I started feeling guilty for feeling the anger and feeling the pain of it. And then I started trying so hard to get rid of the anger, and it didn't work. All it did was make it worse because I was just frustrated that I still felt like this. And so I want whoever is watching this who is going through a healing process to understand that being angry, feeling hurt, feeling the negative emotions of a betrayal or a loss in your grieving process does not mean you haven't forgiven. And forgiveness is a decision that you make. And one thing I would advise you to do is to say out of your mouth that you forgive this person, and do this like an affirmation. So I forgive such and such, and I release them into the freedom of my forgiveness. And then go about your day. Do all the things that you would normally do. Yes, pray about it. Ask God to give you the ability and the strength to forgive this person. But guess what? Sometimes even after you pray, you're still going to be mad. You're still going to be angry. It's still going to hurt. It's not this magic wand that takes away your anger, that takes away your pain. That's just not realistic. And everybody's different. The magnitude of the betrayal on someone, it really depends on the individual. What may be a big situation or a big deal to you may not be to me, and vice versa. So you cannot compare your forgiveness and healing journey to that of someone else. There's so many factors that play into that. You could be someone who has gone through multiple betrayals, and that could be why you're having such a heaviness. But the whole point of this is to free you from the idea that you are not going to feel anything negative once you have forgiven. So that is all I wanted to talk about today. I really hope that this message resonates and helps someone in their process of forgiveness. And I wish you healing, restoration, and redemption. God can do it and He will do it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next video.